What's going on, guys, and welcome to this short little video here giving you a list of the changes which are confirmed for career mode in FIFA 16. Yes, today on August the 5th, it's only just been posted. EA have released a few changes which they're going to make to career mode in FIFA 16, showing us a few screens as well. And in this video, I'm going to run through those changes, run through those innovations, and give you my feedback on them as well. So EA this morning gave us this list, and I'm really excited. I've taken a look at them myself. I'm really excited for next year's career mode. They've made a couple of really decent changes, which I'm excited to show you guys if you haven't seen them already. And I can't wait to get my hands on a copy of FIFA 16 and check out some of these new features. So, of course, this season, some of the career mode guys did a hashtag change career mode movement. Well done to them, because it seems like they've finally started listening to a few of their ideas. So, I'm really pleased for those guys, as well as the whole community too. I think this year EA have definitely realized that career mode as a game mode is definitely lacking, and that is an understatement. And they've finally decided it's time to pull their fingers out and make some changes and make some improvements, which I think they have done, because some of the changes look really good. There aren't obviously that many. There aren't like 20 different changes, but there's a couple here which look really good, and I'm excited to show you. So basically, as you can see here, career mode, they reference it here. It's one of the most requested feature updates, so at least they did listen, that's for sure. And the big feature really they're starting off with is pre-season tournaments. Yes, for the first time in career mode, pre-season will actually mean something, because if you're someone like me, pre-season has always been an arbitrary little thing. It's never been something to worry about. I'll simulate the games and I'll just pray my players don't get injured. The pre-season games do contribute to a player's form, and if they request to play, then their morale as well. But you know, it doesn't really mean too much, and a lot of the time your players get injured, and it's something you could probably do without, to be honest, because there's no such thing as match fitness in FIFA, and you don't really need the games to prepare for the new season. They're just little trivial things. But this season you got pre-season tournaments, which means that pre-season for a lot of people won't be something which will come around every year, and you'll think, I'd rather just skip it and go straight to the first few games of the real season, the regular competitive season. But there's something you'll want to play in. Why? Because you get prize money in the pre-season tournaments. Yes, you get prize money for winning the pre-season tournaments you'll be playing. And here's a brief description. During the summer months, all the major clubs travel around the world in preparation for the upcoming season. In FIFA 16, we are introducing this key development period to career mode. Prior to a given season, your club will be invited to 3 out of a possible 9 tournaments. That's crazy. 9 preseason tournaments played in Asia, Europe, Latin America, or North America, which I think is fantastic, because it means that EA basically haven't just made like one custom tournament with just a few random clubs. You've actually got it tailored to a continent. I think that's really good. It's a nice little realistic thing. I do like that. It's very nice indeed. Just as with real football clubs, these matches will be a great opportunity to work on your team tactics and lineups before the start of the season. Before the start of the regular season. Use all your subs to test squad players. I'll briefly mention that in a minute. And also, the prize purse from these tournaments gets allocated to your transfer budget for the upcoming season. So the money is not a trivial thing. The money is not an arbitrary thing, which is just there for show. It does get added to your budget for the upcoming season. That is fantastic. That's a big change, and it's something which I think a lot of people really wanted to see something like that, because again, pre-season is an important factor to any upcoming season. You know, it really is. It gives you a chance to test out your squad, see the players, you know, how you're feeling with the new signings coming in as well. But in the free games you play, or possibly for some seasons only 2 games you'd play, they just feel like one-off games, which obviously they are, which don't really have any relevance to the upcoming season whatsoever. Now you've got tournaments, you've got potential prize money being added as well. It gives you a more immersive feel to the game, makes it more realistic. That's a great change. Some people may say it's not too important, but I think it's really big in terms of upcoming season objectives, how you feel with your players, and of course, you know, just getting added prize money is always a bonus, isn't it? So I think that's a really good change, and I'm very happy with that one. It finally makes pre-season not something which I'm just desperate to hurry up and get through and simulate through the games, but it's something which I'll actually be really excited to play, and we'll probably play year in, year out. So I'm very happy with that change. That's a good one right there. Second one is player training. Now this is another absolutely massive feature which I really wished EA would have opened with, because I actually think this is more important than the pre-season tournaments. But player training, how many times in one of my career modes, or I'm sure your career modes as well, have you brought in a player who you think is going to develop really well, has solid potential, and you know he's got solid potential, but he just never grows in their attributes, and he never ends up progressing in their development? A lot of the time, probably. It certainly happens to me a lot. Well, with player training, hopefully that is a thing of the past, because as you can see right here, you can train players in specific attributes. Now, I did mention during one of my live commentaries in FIFA 15, it would be cool to actually be able to train a player in a certain range of positions, and and of course in a certain range of attributes. It seems like EA have definitely included the latter this year. As you can see right here, I'll give you a brief description. As you can see the screen as well. A footballer trains between matches to improve as a player. In FIFA 16, managers will be able to train their squad to increase player attributes and boost player development. Each week, select up to 5 squad players to train from a number of training drills, each focused on developing specific attributes. So basically, I would imagine what this means, you can't just train the whole squad in one range of attributes, but you can just pick 5 of your 30-man squad or however many squad players you've got, and you can train them individually. I think this is great as well because it means you can actually heavily focus on a player that you either particularly like or a player who's lacking in their development anyway. Now, I don't know whether this means that players will develop regardless of whether they get trained or not. So you've got 5 players right here. You can see I have used Borussia Mönchengladbach here. You got Herman, Nordveld, Yanks, is that? I'm not sure how I pronounced that, and Raphael. Sorry for that terrible pronunciation. You got those 5 players there. I don't know if that means that the rest of the players in the squad will also develop as well, but just at a lower rate, or whether they won't develop at all. You'll have to train those individually too. I'm not too sure. We don't know about that, but we'll find out as the season goes on, I'm sure. But either way, to be able to train specific players in specific attributes, I do believe, that's really, really good, and I'm looking forward to that. Because you can see right here what it's got in this little place where my cursor is right here. Beat your man, El Rondo, one-on-one defending, dribble course. What this is, these are drills. These are like skill move drills in career mode, and because of the drill you choose, I'd imagine beat your man will be dribbling. As you can see here, it is. I just messed up on the stats there. These will be the defensive stats. You can choose to train your player in a specific category. So if you think that your centre back, for example, isn't doing very well at defending, you can choose a defensive drill, and that'll improve his defensive stats. This is an awesome feature, and something which I know that a lot of people out there have been crying out for. Player progression in career mode, just quite frankly, is unpredictable, and for a lot of players is just not good enough. Now we can actually choose the players that we want to develop individually, put the work in ourselves, and we don't even have to train them and go through the drills if we don't want to and we think it's too time consuming. We can simulate them. That's absolutely fantastic. I don't know whether simulation would mean that you don't get as many points as actually playing them. I'd imagine that will probably be the case, but either way, it's fantastic to know we can actually go ahead and do these drills. I'm really excited for that, and I think that's another great feature which EA have definitely required to do something like that for player progression. I'm excited for that. The second part of the description says the aim here is to allow for greater growth in youth squad players and to create more value to the club. Focus on your star players to keep a strong starting 11. Develop your youth players to increase transfer values and build your funds, or transform your club into the next Ajax or Barcelona, a breeding ground for the future stars of world football. Hands up, who is excited to train their young players right from the beginning, throw them into the first team, throw 2 or 3 players into the first team, and get a core built up in your squad of homegrown players. Who's excited for that? I know I sure am. That's an awesome feature. EA have done very well with that, and I'm really excited to do it. Story of the season is the third one they've got. FIFA 16 will fully immerse you in the story of your club season. Our commentators will remark on key storylines, including notable player or team performances, big player debuts and transfer rumours. In-game graphics and commentary will also pick up on interesting team stats for matches and reference the wider context of league standards. League standings even. This is more of a trivial thing. This is there just for show, really. This doesn't mean too much. However, it will be kind of cool, as you can see here, when you've got a big matchup in the season, like this one right here, Chelsea versus Manchester City, and they're giving you a tailor to tape of the 2 players, and you can basically see what they are, who they are, and why the game has more importance. I would like to see, and I don't know whether they'll do this, but I would like to see a comparison for player stats during the league as well. This is player information. As you can see, the position, age, height, weight, nationality. I'd like to see additional stats here for appearances, goals, assists, if you've got goalkeepers and defenders, clean sheets as well. I'd like to see something like that too. Not too sure whether EA will include that. If they don't, otherwise it's a little bit trivial and not too important, because we'll probably know about the 2 players if we've got enough football knowledge. So it's not too big. It will make the game feel a little bit more immersive and a little bit more realistic with the presentation of the game and the presentation of the layout. That's good. That's nice to see, but it's not really too big of a feature. Regardless, it's something positive, and I guess it's better than nothing. The presentation in career mode has always felt a little bit too subpar in my opinion, so hopefully this will improve it, even if it's just by a marginal amount. And the other key changes to career mode, this is the 4th and final screen we've got here. We have many improvements coming to career mode, all based on feedback from our community, so I do want to say. So the guys did a hashtag change career mode. Well done. I think you've done a great job, and it seems like they have listened. So thank you very much for that, for someone like me who's really excited to play career mode this year, because I think that your feedback was definitely paid attention to. So here we have here, all based on feedback from the community. These include signed free agents outside the transfer window. Now, free agents don't really have too much importance if you're a Premier League type of caliber team that's in the top half. Free agents are never really too big. One thing which has always irked me in career mode is that a player who's got a decent level of overall will never, ever, 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 ever be released by a club. When a player has their contract running down in world football, you can sign them with 6 months to go in their contract if they're 23 years old or over. But when it comes down to their end of their contract, they never get released. They never, ever, ever get released. Their contract just gets automatically renewed for a few years, which has always frustrated me, because it basically means that no real, decent squad players, for example, become free agents. In real life, we see a lot of players leave their clubs on free agents and go elsewhere. You just see Mika Richards go to Aston Villa as a really good example, as a squad player right there at a big club that wants to be a first-team player at a smaller club. We never see that in FIFA. We never see that in career mode. I'm hopeful this year that because they've use free agents here being signed outside the transfer window, they've actually made it more realistic that players will get released. So, for example, you may see someone like, I'm not too sure here, maybe someone like Anders Lindegaard, for example, at Manchester United, run down his contract, be released. And if you're managing someone like, I'm not too sure, West Brom, for example, you can go ahead and sign him on a free transfer. Hopefully we see something like that with free agents, because free agents this year haven't really been something which I've really needed to worry about, to be honest. I've never picked up anyone that's been important to my club in any way. Scout reports. After scouting a player, reports are available to you now for an entire calendar year before expiring versus the 3 months FIFA 15. A nice little feature here. Basically, when you scouted a player in FIFA 15, as it says here, the report would expire after 3 months and you'd have to scout them again. This time, it's there for a calendar year, which is fantastic, because I think it's a little bit unrealistic to expect a player to completely change their stats outside of 3 months. So this time, you got it for a calendar year. I think that's a nice little change there. I'm happy with that one. And it means you don't have to keep on scouting the same player over and over again, just to make sure you've got the report ready for a transfer window. Transfer budget. Now, this is something which I'm really happy about. Transfer budgets are now more realistically tailored to the club you're using in career mode. Also, a percentage of the remaining budget from the previous season will carry over to the next and will vary based on where your club finished in regards to season goals. Now, this is fantastic, because how many times did we finish a season last season with a club where, I don't know, maybe we won the FA Cup and we finished in 3rd place in the Premier League and we reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Maybe we'd think that was a great achievement for a season, and we ended up with £30 million come the end of the year. We thought to ourselves, fantastic, we had a solid season, we got a lot of money left over in the kitty. Next season, hopefully, our board will give us a bit more money on top of what we've got, and we're going to end up with a budget like 45 to 50 million pounds. And then the next season, we've got 12 million pounds for the entire season. How many times would the budget get reset and none of our value would get carried over? We didn't even know whether some of the value got carried over, because EA never really told us, but it seems like it never happened, as we probably expected, but now it will. A percentage of the remaining budget from the previous season will carry over to the next. Very, very important, because we always felt like we were getting cheated out and we were losing our money unless we invested it in scouts. So I'm very, very happy with that, and that is something which I think was really, really important, because so many of us, myself included, were just getting so frustrated that our budget would always get reset going into a new season. Loans, short loans have increased from 3 to 6 months, which is good, and there is now an option to issue 2-year loans. This is really good if you're someone like me who struggles to loan out your players. It means you can send them out for a 2-year loan, and you don't have to worry about sending them out again in the next few months, in the next transfer window. They'll be gone for 2 years, and they'll get a lot of game time there, and you won't need to worry about them. So that's a nice little feature there. Happy with that one too. Friendly subs, not too important, but you'll be able to issue an unlimited number of substitutions during friendly matches. Of course, in the friendly matches in FIFA 15 career mode, you can only do 3, like a competitive game. Now you can make as many as you like, which is more realistic, and that's quite good to see as well. Not too important, obviously, but still something which we're happy to see. More realistic transfers. While the transfer window is open, we have turned a number of high-profile moves by big players to better match the number of changes that typically happen in the real world. Good to see if you're someone that plays career mode for realism. I don't, but it's good to see if you do that, because otherwise you'll see players like Sergio Aguero and Luis Suarez and, really, really awesome players like that moving every other transfer window to a new club around the world, which of course doesn't really happen too much. So that's really good to see, and Again, a nice little change there. If you're someone that plays career mode for realism, and one month you're playing against Suarez for Barcelona, the next month for Bayern Munich, and next month for Chelsea, that's good to see, and I'm happy with that too. Improved player transfer values. We've addressed values of players to better match the real world transfer market, so now we should see players not going for astronomical amounts if they're not worth it, and players being undersold when they're worth much more. And the final one just says "and much more," which I don't really give too much attention to because I've already done quite a few things here, and I'd imagine if there are any more additional changes being made to career mode, I don't think they'll be too significant, but regardless, you never know. So those are the changes to career mode then. I'll leave the link to the full screen. Look at the screens on the screen right now. These are the changes to career mode, and I have to say, I'm very, 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 very happy with what EA are doing this year. You know, the hashtag change career mode guys did some awesome work, and I do want to say thank you on behalf of those that didn't do any videos on that. They did a great job, and I'm really pleased that EA have seemed to have listened to those guys as much as the rest of us from the community as well, who have just been talking about how the game mode has been lacking for a very long time now. Of course, there aren't, you know, as many changes as we would like. We would like to see more things going on here as well. There are loads of great ideas that myself and loads of other people have as well for how we can make career mode a better game mode. But either way, there's still been some good changes here, and you can't really be disappointed because it seems like they finally are listening to us, as opposed to just bringing out the same game mode year after year with no notable changes. There's a couple of big ones in here which we're really looking forward to, and it's a slow but steady progression from a game mode which has been lacking and felt like a little bit undervalued by EA, which I think is true, to a game mode which is hopefully going to become once again a really solid and important game mode as part of FIFA's franchise. So I'm very happy with the changes, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Are you happy with the changes EA are making like I am, or do you still feel like they're not putting in enough work and they should be focusing on other areas of the game mode? Or again, you know, you basically undecided on it and you're going to wait until the game comes out before you make a judgment? For me personally, my initial thoughts are this is good. Yes, of course, I'm going to wait till the game comes out to get a more in-depth look at things such as player training, for example, and you know, a query about the drills and so on, and whether we can actually do the drills. I'm pretty sure we can because of the first screen. But either way, I'm very excited for next year's FIFA. I think career mode is going to get better. It's a slow but steady progression, but I think the improvements are there to see, and I think so long as EA keep on doing a little bit year after year with the game mode, it should become something which is not something which is lacking far behind Ultimate Team, and something which can again be an enjoyable game mode for those that are beginning to feel like it's just not appreciated anymore and the EA don't really care too much. I think now we can see they do value the game mode a little bit, and they are going to start to make some changes which in my opinion were quite important. But again, let me know in the comments, tell me what you guys think about it, and it'll be good to get a discussion with you guys going. But thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed this short little informational video, then please do leave a like. It's much appreciated and it really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next video on my channel very soon.